Why would a player who was central to ending Liverpool's 30-year wait for the Premier League and who scored 120 goals want to leave? The news that Liverpool fans had been dreading for a while arrived in late June 2022, and despite coach Jurgen Klopp trying to stop him, the Senegalese star made it clear that he did not want to stick around. Now, Mané calls Bayern Munich his new home. But what is the real reason behind this massive transfer? And what does it have to do with co-star Mo Salah? And find out how it's already impacting Liverpool's future in the Premier League. Mané's departure from Liverpool was a shock that the fans had been dreading for quite some time now, as the move breaks the magical, aggressive trio of Salah, Mané and Firmino that have transformed the club's performance under German coach Jurgen Klopp. But the Senegalese forward seems focused on getting his money's worth, considering the success he's helped deliver for the English club since he joined Jurgen Klopp's squad in 2016 on a 5-year contract of £34 million from Southampton. Already the most expensive African transfer at the time of his acquisition by Liverpool in 2015, Mané's weekly salary still proved to be lower than his peers at his level over time, and half as much as Mo Salah's at the time of his departure at £100,000 per week. Salah is reported to have demanded a salary of £400,000 per week for his contract renewal in 2023. Mané had expressed interest in staying with a salary hike closer to that figure, but the request did not sit well with Liverpool's leadership. Liverpool decided they would rather let Mané go for just about the same money they'd acquired him for 5 years ago. Looking to find a replacement for the outgoing Lewandowski, Bayern Munich acquired a relatively younger Mané, who had just entered his 30s at the time of the transfer, for £35 million, and they could not be happier. However, some football pundits, such as former English footballer Paul Merson, have blasted the transfer from Liverpool's perspective. Offloading Sadio Mané was the worst business in the world. It was a terrible sale. Even if you kept him for another season and let him go for free, you've got a world-class forward for another 12 months. For that amount of money, £35 million, you can't tell me Liverpool think that's a lot because they went and bought Darwin Núñez for £85 million. They could have delayed that and kept Mané. Apparently, Bayern Munich agrees. According to Sky Sports, the German club was confident that Liverpool would complete a bargain transfer this summer's transfer window for a reason. Apart from their verbal contract for Mané, they knew Liverpool would rather sell at a bargain price this year than wait for another and see Mané off as a free agent without any money in the bank. They knew Liverpool would be unable to sustain Mané's wage demands, with their push to sign up the much younger Uruguayan striker Darwin Núñez. Furthermore, Bayern thought that Liverpool owed them one anyway for going easy with the Thiago transfer negotiation back in 2020. For Mané though, it's more about prestige. He is well connected with his roots and has a big heart for his people back home. Mané has donated money to build schools and hospitals in his hometown of Bambali, and there is no wonder that he's considered a source of national pride in Senegal. In an interview with Canal Plus Afrique, he talked about the motivation for his contribution. "My father died because there was no hospital in my village, so I decided to build one." He's helped Senegal take the crown of the African Cup of Nations in 2021, his 4th tournament representing the country, scoring 33 goals as an international in 91 games as of September 2022. Mané was also honoured as the African Footballer of the Year in 2019. That year, Senegal finished as runners-up in the African Cup of Nations, despite his brilliant individual performance. Therefore, Mané has a sense of responsibility for his country. When asked about an online poll in which 60 to 70% of Senegalese people wanted him to leave Liverpool, he offered an almost political statement in a light-hearted manner at a press conference. "I will do what they, meaning the Senegalese fans, want. We will see soon. Don't be in a hurry because we'll see this together." However, he later offered a clarification. "I spoke while joking with a bit of humour and it was everywhere. I think we'll stop there. Liverpool is a club I respect a lot. The fans adopted me since day one. Regarding the future, we'll see. But perhaps the message was sent to the right places." Even though Liverpool could not offer Mané his money's worth, they at least had the heart to respect his wishes to let go of him. Mané's departure was personal for Klopp, who handcrafted the team from an utter disappointment to a winning combination. He offered his tribute to the star, calling him a Liverpool icon while bidding him farewell. In any case, Jurgen Klopp has also not been visibly enjoying being interrogated at pressers about the impending transfer either. Wherever Sadio plays his next season, he will be a big player. However, it is no secret that Klopp was initially skeptical of Mané when he heard about him at first. "Our team at Dortmund back then really wasn't bad," he says. "I needed someone who could handle not being a starter at the very beginning, someone I could develop. I'd say I have a pretty good feeling for people, but was I wrong? When Mané was still a budding player at Red Bull Salzburg, he was briefly considered at Dortmund, headed by Klopp himself at the time. Perhaps the turning point for Klopp was the unexpected defeat against Southampton in the 2015 season, when he single-handedly steered the victory coming back from a 2-goal deficit and despite missing a penalty. In the documentary about Mané's term for the Reds, titled Made in Senegal, this is what the German veteran had to say about having Sadio on his team. It was great. Sadio wanted to work with me as much as I did with him, so it was a win-win situation. A forward that is as creative in playmaking as he is good at finishing, Mané has earned the fans' respect with his consistent performance. Mané has scored 90 goals for the Reds in 196 appearances, and overall he became only the third African to score 100 goals in the English Premier League, just a month or so after Mo Salah celebrated his 100th. Mané's century of Premier League goals included his legendary record of the fastest hat-trick ever, completed in only 176 seconds in his debut season for Southampton against Aston Villa in 2015. But for Liverpool fans, Mané has offered some incredible and unforgettable moments through his remarkable pressing, selfless assists, and sheer presence of mind. These include a long-awaited Premiership win in 2019-20, ending a 30-year drought at Anfield, and a famous Champions League victory in 2019 against Tottenham, before finishing as runners-up in 2018 against Real Madrid. And this is not to take away his personal achievement of winning the Premier League Golden Boot in the 2018 season with 22 goals, jointly with Arsenal's Aubameyang, and of course his friend on the field, Mo Salah. The only bitter memory was losing the Champions League final as his final outing with the club in 2021-22. Especially because Mané missed out on the Ballon d'Or, which went to Benzema of the victorious Real Madrid. However, many commentators believed he richly deserved it despite missing an open goal in the finals. It's evident that the striker's financial worth, when compared to his stellar performance, has been a significant factor in his discontent. But is that the entire story? Despite his remarkable contribution, Mané's presence in the club has been overshadowed by the greater superstar Mo Salah. The rivalry between Mané and Salah has been the subject of much speculation. Mané has been brushing any media speculation aside, but surely there has been more to their relationship than meets the eye. Away from the Premier League, both the African offensive stars are rivals in international competitions, where Mané has pipped Salah despite his stellar individual performances. It was Mané's decisive penalty kick in the shootouts that sunk Salah's Egypt in the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations final, and the losing Egyptian captain did not even get his chance to have the final go at the goal. After the big event, Mané had even asked his club to avoid celebrating his victory in respect of Salah's feelings. Some commentators have noticed that Salah does not pass the ball as much to Mané as Mané assists him. Videos of Mané's protest about not being passed the ball in the 3-0 away victory over Burnley in the 2019 season have made sports gossip headlines. 2 minutes later, Klopp substituted him, sparking an even bigger reaction. Reuters reported Klopp's reaction. "Everything is fine. We are individuals, we are emotional. It was a situation in the game, obviously. What else could happen? It was not a phone call. There was a situation in the game he was not happy about, and that is then completely fine. In a week, nobody will remember it anyway." The Daily Mirror had quite some fun with that story, raising question marks about the rivalry between the two stars. Former Liverpool defender and football pundit Jamie Carragher analysed the moment of intense frustration for The Telegraph, suggesting much deeper issues. There is no way Mané lost his head solely because he did not receive a few passes against Burnley. His frustration will have been gathering for months, ensuring it only needed a trigger to bring it into the open. Though nothing to take away from the sheer brilliance of Mo Salah, the first Liverpool player to score a record 100 goals in the Premier League and has won the Premier League Golden Boot multiple times. However, the way the club celebrated Salah reaching the rare milestone, presenting the Egyptian star with a 100 numbered jersey, that fanfare was missing for Mané about a month later, and the supposed favoritism makes Mané feel like a bigger star's sidekick. But going by public data, Salah and Mané exchanged a warm, brotherly farewell on social media after the transfer. In Mané's mind, there are no doubts. He's clearly expressed that the time was right for the move. In his farewell interview with Liverpool, he spoke about the decision to move on. "Obviously, I know what I want and what is professional. Like I always say, my life is always about a challenge. And when it came, I came to the club and said I wanted to leave. I wanted to go somewhere else to find a new challenge. Because for me, I want to always be challenging myself to get better and better." With Bayern already dominating the Bundesliga, Mané might not have to work very hard to win a championship title. Just as former Chelsea midfielder and pundit Craig Burley put it in a pretty straightforward fashion, Bayern Munich is a great club, but let's be honest, it's not a big challenge, it's a procession. They will win the league again next year. Like they have the last 10 years, is it? It's just a choice. If players feel unloved, fine. We can't control the feelings on that. And Liverpool fans are already missing Mané and expressing their frustration. Understandably, losing to a struggling Manchester United in the second week of the 2022-23 season was not exactly a fun sight.